Hello, this is Aulatnak for Aulatnak TV. Um, this is the second part to the first video of sounds and vibrations, and my phone died last time. I'm sorry I couldn't get to what I was thinking, but I'll continue off where I left off. I was talking about respect, Chippy Ten Dogziwin, and then the thought came into my head, the creator. The creator in Ojibwe is Gajemnado. Gajemnado. And from this understanding, this vibration, this sound, it's my belief that it's a high vibration, highest vibration, the Great Spirit. It's very beautiful how we all come to this place, and it's really a mystery. And I love how I was able to find myself and truly reflect on my life and start building on myself. Part of my weakness was reading and writing, and I began reading a lot after my spiritual awakening. I read all kinds of books. A good book, The Comeback by John Rastin Saul, and another book that I read was The Wind is My Mother. That was a beautiful book. Yeah, and also too, so Gajemna Do, this vibration. It's very beautiful. The word hello, bonjour, another vibration. And Bamapi, that means see you later. And yeah, so coming through this time, I'm 28 years old now. It's 2017, and it's April 28th or 27th, I believe, 27th. And I just felt it was important for me to start this because it was something that I felt was due at this time. Most people don't really know themselves, and that's a big part that I see, is that we're all moving around and we don't know ourselves. So it's hard to get to a place where you're comfortable with yourself, and you know your purpose, and you know who you are. Not a lot of people get to these points in life, and they're very big points. So now another word I'd like to say is animals. The animals that are around us, and the understanding from First Nations point of view, their knowledge, their wisdom. They incorporated the animals through the clan systems, and they conducted themselves by these animals and their characteristics. So when you start looking into the knowledge, when you find out that, like, the Eagle clan, they have the vision. Eagles have very good sight, so they see far into the future. That's the foresight of them. And so anybody that has that characteristic, usually the people would feel that energy within them and understand that that's a part of them. So that's their system, their DNA, their makeup. They get to that. And so another one is Bear Clan. They're the protectors. So these traits of these animals would then be picked up and perceived as themselves. And in that way, because these animals have very noble characteristics and behaviors, so we emulated that, and it was a good connection because so bear, makwa, bear, makwa, and eagle, megazin, megazin, these vibrations and sounds. Yeah, and then there's Turtle Clan. Yeah, they're the understandings is beautiful. The 7 grandfather teachings, I was elaborating on that in my first video before I cut out. It was love, respect, truth, honesty, bravery, wisdom, and humility. These 7 grandfather or grandmother teachings, otherwise known as Mishomis or Nokomis teachings, they, in my belief, it's the concepts, what we view the outside world with. And these seven concepts are in your mind, and as you are engaging in situations, you pull from one of these 7 concepts. And as the Anishinaabe and the indigenous people, we understood and we interacted using these concepts, and it's very beautiful. And coming from a little bit of my background, I went to WDSS, and I graduated in 2008, but I had grade 11, grade 12 biology, and also grade 11 and grade 12 chemistry. So I was coming from like a scientific thinking, and so the other side, the spiritual side, wasn't really there. Now it's good that I have come from that place, so I need the evidence, but it's all evident inside yourself. And once you see yourself from that perspective, then you start to live. And when I say live, I mean like, you know that you're here for a reason. There's a purpose for your life and my life. There's purpose for this. And as we start to move away from that fear-based thought process, and we start embracing this new love-based process where it comes from the heart, and we can clearly distinguish the difference between this fear and this love. And there's so many examples, just YouTube stuff, you'll find it. The fear, there's fear, and a lot of people live their life that way. But, it's about waking up and seeing that things aren't what it seems to be. So as time goes on, I see the people starting to go back to their roots and like their ancestors. Like, I'm not saying that it was a utopia back then and there, but I'm just saying that the way that they looked through these concepts, and having myself, I had no understanding of these concepts before my spiritual enlightenment. I didn't live in those concepts, and I had like no respect and stuff like that. It just wasn't how I viewed it. And so now when I started to understand these concepts, and that's how the people saw and dealt with what they see, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to go back to that, because we would have respect. The first teaching would be humility, because knowing that you're a part of creation, the Great Spirit is amazing. And when I started tapping into my higher power, Gajemnado, this was the feelings that I got was I knew that we had gone through something, an extraordinary time, and there was a lot of things that happened to us as indigenous people. And it was mainly through that fear thought process and how we've gone through all kinds of craziness, but it's not, we have to find ourselves again. And part of my awakening was the sweat lodge. I want to talk a little bit about that, and the understanding from what I understand is the sweat lodge is Mother Earth's womb. Okay, so the vibration ke, Earth, Mother Earth ke. And so the womb of Mother Earth, and when you enter in there, it's just like being in a womb again because it's very hot and moisture. And so when you go through that, and it's really hard to, because it's almost, they have hot rocks and the sauna, it's like a sauna. The sauna probably came from this. But, so then they pour water with medicine into the rocks in the center, the small dome made out of wood. And now they use tarp, but they used to use birch bark or whatever kind of bark they had. But now they use tarps. It's what's available to us. And yeah, so when we enter into the sweat lodge, there's all kinds of teachings with it. If you haven't been to a sweat, I suggest you go, because it will change your life and how you see the world. And but yeah, it has to be by a real conductor, an indigenous conductor. So yeah, and I feel like life, it has so much diversity inside. And when we start to embrace it, then I know that we'll get it. We'll start to connect. And when we connect, it's a deep connection when we're connecting to nature. So yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm half Inuit and half Belgium. I'm from a place called Whale Cove, Nunavut, and I have no knowledge of that. I moved down to Windsor, Ontario when I was 18 months old, and from there I moved to Wallaceburg, Ontario, and from there I moved to Walpole. So, and this is where it all began spiritually. Yeah, so when I started looking into myself through the White Bison program, the first step was admitting that I was powerless. Because the place where I wasn't in a good place at all, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. So, yeah, but now I've felt the presence of this higher power, Gajemnado. And then I realized that I'm half Inuit, and my roots up there, I have family up there, and I wanted to find out what the creator's name was up there. And my little brother Abe, he texted and told me it was Hanaji. And so I just felt just empowered at that point, because this was my higher power, and finding this other higher power, Gajemnado, it was beautiful because it gave me these vibrations, these high vibrations. And yeah, so I just want to say miigwech and have a good day, everybody.